Hi, welcome to Ladies of Another View. I'm back and welcome to Monday afternoon.
Yay. It's a beautiful week and it was a great weekend and 4th
Truly.
of July coming up next weekend.
Yes, so what could
wait.
go wrong? Yeah, I shouldn't say that, right? But no, it is a great day, great weekend we just came out of. Things are greening up with a little bit of rain.
Take every drop.
Yes, and so first I want to introduce that I have Jan and Mary with me.
Hello.
And I'm Patty. And we have a fantastic show today. We're going to start in just a minute. I'm going to introduce Michelle Lucas, who has an amazing space program she's offering to North Dakota residents. And then coming up in the later segments, we're going to have Paulette Bullinger. I just met her. She's so interesting. She has a book, Nothing Hidden, that's on a real life history. It was inspired by that. And then she also has the Back in History tours for the area. We'll get to her a little bit later, but right now I want to welcome Michelle Lucas. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Michelle Lucas. I talked to her on the phone just a few days ago, and I wasn't sure if we should have her for one segment or two. After talking with her, I said, wow, two isn't even going to be enough. You just are amazing. She is the founder and president of the Higher Orbits program, and she also has started a Go for Launch summer camp type experience for teenage kids, and it's not an overnight program. But let's begin by talking about the Go for Launch program.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It is such a treat to get to chat with you ladies, and I'm so excited to be coming back to North Dakota. I came out there for your Disrupt Well conference in Bismarck, and I spoke at TEDx Fargo, and I've been doing everything I can to get into town and inspire your incredible local students. We have Go for Launch, which is a 3-day program where high school students get the opportunity to work with an astronaut for the entire event. Not 40-minute talk, 12 questions, and out the door. The astronaut's there for the entire event to serve as a mentor. Students will work on a variety of team projects, but ultimately, every team has to define and design an experiment that they'd like to see tested in space. We'll pick a winner from our Bismarck event that is scheduled for next week, and then another winner from our Fargo event, which is scheduled in August. And from amongst those two winners, from between those two winners, I should say, one of them will have their experiment flown to space. It's such an exciting opportunity, and I'm so thrilled to be able to share it with North Dakota students.
That is incredible. That is incredible.
It is amazing. One thing I want to point out before we go further is that if you're watching right now, if you know anybody who has, what is it, grades? It's high school kids?
So grades 8 through 12, and we will take rising eighth graders if they are motivated and want to come to the program. So grades 8 through 12, and also recently graduated seniors, but largely high school.
And the deadline for the Bismarck area is tomorrow. Fargo is going to they have more time because they have their program in August, but the registration is tomorrow.
Let's say June 29th, just in case they're watching this
Right.
as a repeat or rerun
Correct.
tomorrow.
Yep. Thank
so
you, Mary.
Tuesday, June 29th is the deadline.
Right, because if you might be watching this Tuesday morning in North Dakota. So Tuesday the 29th.
Yes, if we
is the
can get
deadline.
everybody registered by Tuesday evening, that would be super helpful to us. We want to make sure we get all the great space swag lined up so every student gets some really out of this world awesome patches and stickers and all that good stuff.
And to go to your website, it's very easy to remember, higherorbits.org. We have it at the bottom of the screen, higherorbits.org, and then you're going to learn about the whole program, including the Go for Launch summer program. So tell us more about this Go for Launch program. How did you come up with the idea? It's so exciting, and I never heard about it when we were raising our kids.
Well, it didn't exist until we ran our first program in 2016. I've been in love with space my entire life, and I had the good fortune to get to work at NASA's Johnson Space Center for 11 years in mission control and astronaut training. And then I wanted to give back. And so I started Higher Orbits. And I was fortunate to get to go to space camp as a kid, but I recognized that not only does that camp come with a very huge price tag, it also comes with the price tag of trying to get there. Now, my goal was to bring a space-inspired STEM event to students all across the country. As I like to say, I like to bring space to their backyards. And so Go for Launch was born. And with the commercialization of space, we are more easily able to get student experiments onto the space station. This is something we really couldn't have done 15, 20, probably even 10 years ago. So it's amazing how things have evolved and the opportunities that exist to inspire our next generation of STEM explorers.
For our viewers that are unclear on it, can you explain to them what the STEM program is?
Yes, absolutely. When I was in school, it was just called math and science, but now
Right.
it's a movement of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, trying to get students more engaged in those subjects. Now, not trying to turn every one of them into a rocket scientist. If they want to be, that's amazing. And I would love that. I tease them that when they fly into space, I do expect an autograph. But just showing them the power of the possibilities that exist as long as they leave doors open by studying science, technology, engineering, and math.
So then I had a question. What type of experiments do kids bring? I mean, could it be anything from what type of seeds can be planted in, or is it electronic type stuff, or what have you seen?
So that is a great question, because the answer is a little bit of all of it. We tell the students what they can't do. Like, there are certain things they can't do. They're not allowed to fly an animal with a backbone. They're not allowed to explode anything. That's always disappointing to them sometimes. Nothing with fire. It has to fit inside a cube that's about the size of a Kleenex box. And then beyond that, it's up to them. So we've had plant experiments, we've had bug experiments, we've had biological experiments, we've had radiation experiments and fungus experiments. And so we really just like to see the ideas that come from the students, and they truly are theirs. We're there to mentor them, and having somebody who's actually been in space as a mentor is pretty amazing. But ultimately, the ideas are theirs. I think of it as an out of this world science fair. So what do you want to test if you just take gravity out of the equation?
Oh, that's a good
That
answer.
kind of answered my next question.
Taking gravity out.
Sorry,
Exactly.
didn't mean to steal your thunder
No,
there.
not at all. No, I was just thinking that there's a lot of kids that would be thinking, you know, what's the difference between doing my experiment in the classroom and doing it on the space station, for instance?
Well, and one thing I would love to share with you is some people think, oh, this is only for the STEM superstars. Well, yes, the STEM superstars are going to have a blast, but I will tell you that any kid who has even a remote interest in STEM or a remote interest in space, or just wants to hang out with an astronaut for a couple of days, is going to have a blast. They're going to learn something. And one of my favorite anecdotal stories is we were in Tallahassee, Florida last January. And the winning team from that event, who ultimately has been chosen to have their experiment launched to the space station, one of the students told me flat out, I don't like science, I like art. And she was one of the biggest contributors to her team, because when the team gets together and they start gelling on their ideas, everybody has something to bring to the table.
That's a great
awesome.
idea, because you need that creativity to do all the ideas and stuff like that.
And the excitement, yeah. Maybe we can just look at a couple pictures from the classroom, because you can kind of get an idea of how the kids work together. Do you know, so which astronaut was this?
So that's astronaut Don Thomas. He was a mission specialist on 4 different space shuttle flights. And this was at our Durham event with a handful of gals who had their experiment chosen to fly into space.
Wonderful.
Wow. And here's a couple more.
And this one includes
astronauts.
Dottie Metcalf Lindenberger, who's coming to Bismarck next week with us.
Wow.
Great.
Wow. Well,
Okay.
we have to take a break here, and then we're going to talk some more about what goes on in space and how the kids can get involved in that. We'll be right back with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
If you don't know what's going on in education in this country, then you don't know what's going to happen in the future of this country. And it's important. I'm Dr. Duke.
And I'm Katie.
Watch the Dr. Duke Show weekdays at 4 p.m. Central Time on Beck TV.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county. Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after-hours oasis of sanity. How can these people not see that they're just clowns?
We help simplify and educate you on things going on in the legislature and around the country.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
But also having Lee Stack and Sid and Marty Croft stuff, and we've talked about that sometimes. It's bad.
Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck, and we are once again rejoined with Michelle Lucas. She is the founder and president of Higher Orbits, and we're talking about the Go for Launch program that is coming to North Dakota. Tuesday the 29th is the deadline for registering if you have children from 8th grade, rising 8th graders through high school. And then in Fargo, it's going to come later on in August. But you have, I think you've done about 50 of these programs across the country, is that right?
We have. We've done 50 all across the country, and we have launched 13 student-created experiments to space already, and we have a 14th currently being built. And we're very much looking forward to the fact that one of the experiments that we intend to select from this year will come from North Dakota and be launched to the International Space Station in 2022.
That's exciting. So do I understand it correctly? You are a nonprofit? Is that correct?
Correct. We are a 501c3 nonprofit.
So, you know, what types of organizations or businesses, corporations, or the like would be interested in helping you out? How did you reach out for that type of funding?
So we love to collaborate with everyone, because I will tell you that space flight is the ultimate team sport. You can't fly to space on your own. And so we treat Higher Orbits Go for Launch program the same way. We work with everyone from the big aerospace corporations to local donut shops and everything in between. We're thrilled to partner with professional organizations like AIAA, the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, and OBAC, the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals, and others. And in Bismarck specifically, we are thrilled that our partner for bringing this event there is National Day Calendar. We love to celebrate every day. We celebrate space every day. We like to celebrate other things every day as well. And so we really feel there is a place in our ecosystem for everyone who wants to support. You know, there's the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. I like to spin that a little bit and say it takes a village to launch students' dreams to space.
Amen. So, okay, I wish I identify, or maybe I do identify as a 16-year-old girl and I want to go to your camp. Right? But so tell us a little bit, okay, so it sounds like kids are going to be on a team. So do you go there by yourself and then you get placed on a team? Do you have to have an idea? It's like, what if these kids are sitting there and saying, I don't know what I want to do? Can they come without an idea and then you kind of launch an idea? Do you work together and collaborate like that?
I love it. Launch an idea. Well played.
Right? I did
and
that on
well
purpose.
done. I like it. And so it's a combination. We have some students who come as a team. Most do not. Most come and meet other people, and we find that to be great. I like to say it's finding some of their people that have like interests. Now, as far as ideas go, they don't need to come with one. Actually, we don't want them to come with one because that would just be their idea. And the idea is for their team to gel that idea. I will tell you, in 50+ events, we've never had a team not be able to come up with an idea. So we try and give them all the tools in their toolbox to help them come up with something that they want to test in space.
So then you would have supplies for them too? Like, how does that come about? How do they make that idea into action?
So they're not actually going to build it quite yet because there's no way I could bring all the supplies for all the plethora of ideas that are possible. But all other supplies they need, we bring. We do ask if they have computer, tablet, phone. Some online research is sometimes helpful with coming up with their idea and refining it. But we're definitely going to give them a bunch of different sessions that have to do with science and space, helping to kind of turn their general ideas into something more refined. We're also going to do teamwork and leadership exercises, some team challenges that are fun but help build the teamwork, and lots of communications work because they're actually going to have to present their idea at the end of the event. And that is one of the most fun things to me, is to see in just a couple of days how much students can grow in their ability to communicate effectively in front of a group of people.
So then when they launch those ideas and talk about them, would that be open to the public? Like, could anybody come in and just see, maybe some science teachers or maybe some parents or grandparents? How does that work? I'd like to just go and watch.
Well, we would love to have you come and watch. And we normally do invite parents and relatives and things like that. It kind of depends on our facility space and how many students we have based on capacity. And once we have final registration numbers, we'll be better able to let folks know how many people might be able to come see those final presentations. But I can tell you that there is the Space Ag Challenge that is happening at Grand Farm in Fargo in August, where the winning team from Bismarck and the winning team from Fargo, they're both going to present their ideas to all the folks there.
Nice.
So who are the judges then that actually choose the winners?
So the judges include myself and astronaut Daddy Metcalf Lindenberger in Bismarck. It'll be astronaut Don Thomas, the other astronaut you saw in some of those photos in Fargo, along with some other folks from the community. Marlo Anderson, the guru of geek, will be helping us out in Bismarck. And we're still working on the final panel of judges, but we always try and bring in local engineers and scientists to help us with the evaluation of these experiments. We really want it to be a community event, and we want people to all feel invested in these incredible young adults.
So what is, if I may, what is the expense, and then do you offer scholarships?
So our RAC registration rate is $300, but I will tell you, I was the kid who wanted so desperately to go to space camp, and the only way I was able to go was on scholarship. My mom made sure I mowed lawns and I shoveled driveways to cover the rest of the expenses. And so I'm the person who, if there is a student who really wants to attend, I will do everything in my power to help make it possible for them to attend. So there is financial aid available, but the RAC registration rate is $300.
Well, I want to just say right now, because I am just touched by this, I would like to sponsor a child. I don't know who it is. I would love to donate $300 scholarship, and I challenge anybody else out there, our viewers, if you want to help these kids, we need stuff like this. This is what we need. This is what it builds a community. We need this kind of stuff. I would love to sponsor a child.
Thank you. As you can tell, I'm getting emotional about this. This is so near and dear to my heart. Look, I came from the south side of Chicago where folks weren't talking about engineering and whatnot. And so to be able to bring these kinds of experiences to students who might not realize what big things they can do through the support of people like you, ladies, that's how we make it happen. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I wish I could, I could spend hours telling you the anecdotal stories about students' lives being changed by having their experiment launched, but also by just attending. And so thank you for helping us make that possible for another student through your generous donation for a scholarship.
Absolutely. I was always the kid that couldn't afford to go.
Yeah, yep, I get
that
it.
was me.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is so exciting because it's not just about science. Like you say, communication skills, it's this experience. It can open up a whole new world to them. And we only have about 30 seconds, but there are no prerequisites, right? Like they don't have to be a math scholar or science. They just have to be interested and they can apply, right?
Everyone is welcome. Come join us at Go for Launch. It's going to be a blast.
Michelle, have you bought a ticket to go out in space? I know they're taking reservations and they haven't done it yet. Are you on the top of that list?
If I had $250,000, yes, I keep buying a lotto ticket. So if North Dakota has a lottery, I will buy one while I'm in North Dakota as well.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining
Michelle.
us. Yeah,
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. We're excited, as you can tell. We'll be right back with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Go for Launch 2018 series winner. Without further ado, it is my honors. Regina. The winning team is the Flumen River Excellence.
Oh my God!
They won!
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car!
How will we?
The car! Your offer's been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing.
But how will we?
The closing!
Hey everybody, I'm Doug Billings, your host of The Right Side with Doug Billings on Beck News. We bring you high-profile guests, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive guests. Now, you're not going to see these guests in most of the mainstream media outlets. Another thing that I do here is give guests a platform to speak freely. You're not going to see me censor anybody. Please join us, won't you? Weeknights right here on Beck TV and online at beck.news. Cheers.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. And we just finished off with the mysteries of space. Now we're going to talk about a mystery in North Dakota with Paulette Bullinger. Welcome to the show,
Thank
Paulette.
you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I just met Paulette last week, and I heard about her book that I can't wait to get my hands on, and it's called Nothing Hidden, right?
Right.
And it's about it's fiction, but it's historical fiction, and it's inspired by a real-life mystery. Do you want to tell us about it?
Well, when I was about 16 years old, growing up in the small town of Huff, North Dakota, my great aunt had given me an old newspaper clipping that was in an envelope that said "Do not destroy" on it, and I still have that clipping. And it was about a young girl who had come. There we have it on the screen. She had come to Huff across the river from Lavona, North Dakota. They came across on the ice to a dance in a dance hall in Huff. And she mysteriously dies afterwards at a kind of a makeshift breakfast place, because there were no rules as far as, when the dance had to end back in those days. So she ended up dying, and she was only 18 years old. According to the story, the coroner was out of town, and so they never did find out what her actual cause of death was, although they said it was a heart attack. My great aunt never believed that that was a heart attack. She always thought that she was involved in a love triangle and somebody had done her in. So anyway, she is buried here in Bismarck and at the St. Mary Cemetery. But she has, I think the story is kind of fascinating. I tried to give the story to a couple of other authors here locally. And thought that they would probably be interested in using this as a basis for a story. In 2011, I ended up going to a American Red Cross fundraiser, and it was a bucket list fundraiser, and you could put your name in a bucket and hopefully win the bucket and work with whoever to do something. They had everything from skydiving to whatever. Well, I put all my tickets that I had in the one for write a novel. So I ended up winning that, and I got a chance to work with a professor at the University of Mary. His name was Jameson Reidenauer, and we met about once a month. He told me just to start writing, and we would work out the details. And we met once a month, and he would, he was very excited about the story, which was kind of fun. But then after that, I finished the book. I thought that was it. I completed my bucket. I'm done. So they asked to do a story for the next fundraiser, the next year. And they asked to ask somebody who had completed their bucket from the year before. So I did the story. And somebody's, a mother-in-law or something of a publisher in Fargo saw the story and contacted me and said, I think my son-in-law would love to read your book, because he likes North Dakota books. So I sent him the manuscript, and he sent me a contract, and he edited it, and it went on as an Amazon book. So as a Kindle book first. Well, people were after me for hard copies. So I decided to print it locally here at one of the print shops, and then I made it a Pride of Dakota product, and I've had more fun. In fact, I just got asked to do a book signing in Ashley. I've not been to Ashley. So I've had more fun in the last 5 years with this story, and meeting all kinds of people, and people who have read the book tell me all kinds of stuff from their personal history, which is, because I have quite a few different themes in the book.
Well, yeah, talk about some of the themes, because you have like a medicine woman, love triangle, there's this conflict in religion, there's just a lot of drama, and since it's historical fiction, you use places and you've changed the names.
Yes.
But a lot of people think they know who's in the book, right?
Well, yeah, of course the girl died in Huff. So I was I didn't want to use the word Huff, because growing up in a small town, everybody knows everything about you, and they were going to try to, just kind of twist things. So I decided to make up a name, and a different name of the town, and it was really kind of fun. Like I said, when I go to book signings, they all think they know who these people are, and I just made them up, Although there's a lot of things that resemble things. But I studied the themes that went on in 1912. This happened in 1912. And I tried to find as much as I could about this girl to make it kind of true. I couldn't find other than 2 or 3 different newspaper clippings about her to make it a true story. But I started studying things like insanity boards. People can be, declared insane by just 3 people in a county. And I started studying things about bootlegging, and a lot of it was the religious conflict, different faiths conflict. I studied things like just farming practices and how the vehicles were and how they got to town, and different, because this would be at a time where there wouldn't be a lot of highways and things like that. So I had a lot of fun researching, and then kind of drew stories around that. And I think that's one of the reasons why the book appeals to men. A lot of men will come in our business on the strip between Bismarck and Mandan and tell us that they have read the book and enjoyed it. So it doesn't seem to cover too many different age groups. I mean, it seems like 100 to 20 have read it, and they all love it. So.
And I think people like a mystery. They like a mystery, and especially if you're from North Dakota, but of course you can be from anywhere.
Yeah.
And so regardless of where you're from, where can you buy the book?
Well, I have it in small stores around here. You can buy it locally at like Pride of Dakota stores. You can buy it from my husband's shop on the strip between Bismarck and Mandan, Circle Diamond Ranch Supply. You
pick
can
up a new horse trailer too while you're
pick
there.
Up if you can get a horse trailer right now. So you can also get it at like the different little stores like the Bismarck CVB out at Fort Abraham Lincoln. Some of those little gift shops is where I like to have locals, not the big box store. Yeah,
boutique type places.
Boutique type places. Yeah.
Are you on Amazon too?
I'm on Amazon as a Kindle.
Easy. I mean, I'm not
as
necessarily.
a Kindle book. Yeah.
I always say shop local.
Yes.
And if you can't, then okay, fine, go to
Yeah.
Amazon. But you can go to your Facebook page too. You have
Yes.
Nothing Hidden, the book.
Yes.
Because if there you go. And so you can have little updates and see
and
the photos.
follow the page, and I'll share different insights as I come across it. That's an old photo of overlooking Huff along the river, and at one time people would cross on the ice, and that's how she got over. That's how they would get over to.
Did she come alone?
No, she came with a group of people, the way it sounds. You know, they would have come together, But like you said, the people did not have, okay, the dance closes at 1 o'clock, those kinds of things probably went on for a day or two, who knows?
Sure.
But not too many 18-year-olds die from heart attacks.
No.
And nowadays we have like Dateline, we have all these shows that look into mysteries, and sometimes they'll go back 25 years and solve a case. And I guess this one is probably not likely, right? 1912.
Right. But it would be interesting to just know a little more about her. So I had sold some books out at the Bismarck State Crime Lab, down at North Dakota State Crime Lab, and we got a wonderful tour there. But they talk about exhuming bodies and testing and whatever, and I don't know what the statute limitations is and who could actually be,
But that'd be interesting if they did that.
But
Yeah, just a lot of mystery involved.
Yes.
So, and you like mystery. You're gonna come back wearing a different hat.
Okay.
Because you do the back and history tours.
Yes.
In North Dakota, and I think it's in the Bismarck area. But I think it's interesting wherever you're from, because every part of town has history. Yes. So wherever you are in the country, I just find this fascinating. And I know 10 minutes isn't going to be enough because you got so many stories. But
Well, and some of those mysteries too, when we do our My Hometown series. So if you guys have mysteries in your own town you want us to look into, we can do that.
Right, definitely. Yeah, we like mysteries. So let us know about them and we'll take a look. We'll be right back with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Hop in the rig and go down the road with me. We'll cover local and national stories that impact you. What happens with national debt? Does anybody even care anymore? Do you think Governor Burgum truly understands the legislative process?
I think he's got a better understanding now than he did 2 years ago.
Why in the world are we having a conversation about being anti-vaccination. Down the Road with Joel Heitkamp weekdays at 5:30 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, the lowest price ever.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck, and we are once again joined with Paulette Bullinger. And she is Our Lady of Mystery. You could be the Angela Lansbury of North Dakota. Now, I never watched her really, but was her program Mysteries she wrote? Was that the name of it?
I
always solved mysteries. She always solved mysteries, yes.
But you tell us about mysteries. And that brings us to our segment with you on the Back in History tours for the Bismarck area. This is so cool because you were giving tours and you basically stepped in where there wasn't anybody else giving these tours, or you continued something that had ended. And every town, every area does have its history. And so tell us, in the Bismarck area, what kind of places do you take people to?
My two main ones are Downtown Bismarck History Tour, kind of just the area right downtown, down by the McKenzie, the Patterson, the Peacock Alley, whatever you want to call it. That area, and kind of just around that area, St. Mary's Church, kind of that history right there. Then I follow it up usually with the tour of the St. Mary's Cemetery. St. Mary's Cemetery is a historic cemetery, and a lot of the people who developed downtown Bismarck, from McKenzie, Patterson, Hannafin, those kinds of people, are at rest up at that cemetery. So I enjoy telling their stories and what they did for Bismarck, and just to share that with a lot of people who come from out of state. A lot of people who come on the tours, this is usually one of their last states to visit, because they are marking these off on their bucket list, and they'll tell me that they haven't been to North Dakota before and had to wait till summertime to come, and it's fun to take them around and the old history. Sometimes when I give the downtown tour to local people who've lived here a long time, their idea of what they want to see is a little different of what people who come from out of town. When I take people around, it's a good thing I'm at that age and can remember, where was Lucas's, where was Ward's, where was Penny's, where was Sears? So those are more of the questions I get. But when I do the local history, it is more so, why is Bismarck here? What impact did the train have? What, those kinds of things. Why is there a fort out here? So we get to talk about what Bismarck was like in the 1872 when it first started, I've read a lot of great books. One of them, my favorite, is from Fortress to Farm by Linda Slaughter. She talks about, she was a doctor's wife moving from Fort Rice up to Bismarck, and basically it was a farm to her. You know, that's the way it was downtown Bismarck. So there's a lot of interesting things in downtown Bismarck, and actually I tie that in with my book that we talked about earlier. The book is actually based in the whole downtown area mostly. But there was everything from the Prohibition days, the peddling of alcohol illegally, all kinds of things. We had people who had questionable characters but were very popular with the people. We had ladies of the evening who made their money in a different way than...
Not during the day?
I'm not sure. But casino, you know, just a little casino, her story, it's really interesting. But they were the movers and shakers of Bismarck to get it started. And so when I do the tours up at St. Mary's Cemetery and we see the places that they were buried, it's kind of interesting. And there's a lot of interesting stories about other people up there that you can't even see a grave for. For example, one of them is a saloon owner. There's this man up there who's a saloon owner, and he actually did very well with the women of the Presbyterian Church. He bought all their stuff, their bazaars, and then he would give it to the girls on 4th Street. And he would buy all this stuff, and they loved him. One day, some Methodist evangelists came to town and were spouting about the evil of saloons and alcohol. And they ran him out of town. But there's just stories like that.
In the cemetery. You know what I love? We were talking before the show, and you said one of the things you have to tell everybody is stay together, because cemeteries are very interesting places.
Yes.
If you haven't been to one, I say go. You know, reading the tombstones are fascinating. And you have people wandering all over the place.
I do.
Which they can on their own, but you're like, hey, let's stay together while you're giving the tour.
So generally what I do at the cemetery, we meet down, there's a little older chapel building that's now houses the water equipment, but we meet there and I do a little bit of history about St. Mary's Cemetery and how it got started and why it got started. And then from there we walk up the hill and we stop at a few different places, and there's beautiful, beautiful stonework up there, just amazingly beautiful stonework.
And the roads are narrow, right? And why is that?
The roads are very narrow because this was designed for buggies, wagons. It was not designed for cars. So even coming up the little hill, if you drive up the little hill into the cemetery, you have to be careful because the gravestones are right next to the road. So yeah, it's easier for us to park down below and then walk up, and then we don't have to worry about it.
So how did you get started conducting tours? I mean, who asked you to take them around town, so to speak?
I worked for a marketing company here in town for 18 years, and then when I was ready to retire, another person who owned a tour company here in town, they said, ask Paulette to do the tours. Ask Paulette, because I love this kind of stuff. This history stuff, I absolutely love it. And so I was asked, and I did Germans from Russia tours, I did the downtown tours, and the St. Mary's Cemetery history tours. And I do a lot of research. I go up there and I'll pick out a stone, and then I'll go on to an old newspaper website and I'll try to find a story out about it. But so that's how I got started. Well, then the other tour company decided to, with COVID and everything, decided to stop their business. So I just carried on, and so it's been so hot that I haven't started any tours until now. Just this week I'm going to start some. I did one on Saturday. And
so how do they get a hold of you to do that?
Well, they can, if they like my Facebook page, Back in Time History Tours, they can message me through that. That's how they can get a hold of me. It's probably the best way. Or they can also, if they're strangers, chances are that's the best way to do it. The other tour company person is referring people to me. I've talked to the state tourism. They will refer people if I need a referral as well. But yeah, I'm just kind of getting this started off on my own, so Yeah, they can contact me. There's a phone number on my Facebook page. They can call me there. And I like to do smaller groups simply because of especially the cemetery tour, simply because they tend to,
wander.
Because you start reading the gravestones, and it's fascinating. You say, oh,
Yes.
this was just a baby. Oh, they died. And they might have some little trinkets or something on the tombstone that tells you a little bit about who they were. Do you give Halloween tours? Because I bet a cemetery tour, the week of Halloween, would be like, oh, this is interesting.
A lot of people ask me that, and I'm not a believer in that paranormal stuff. So
Yeah,
I
stay away from that.
I like strictly the history stuff, and it's just the history is fascinating enough, let alone something like that.
So is there a charge to go on your tour?
It's $15 a person. Or sometimes if there's a group, then I have a group charge. They should just contact me. I have done entire families. They've been here for like a family reunion. We've gone around, different groups like that. But it's fun. It's fun to take them around. And like I said, on Saturday when I took the group around, I was constantly, come on,
let's go, giddy up.
So. But anyway, just to give you an idea, up at the St. Mary's Cemetery, there are 4 governors up there. So, and then there's some tragic stories that are kind of recent. I try not to do any of the new graves that are more to the south side. It's all the history, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or anything. So.
Awesome.
Well, I can't believe how fast that went.
We only have a few seconds left.
Yeah, I want to go on the tour, and so people can contact you through Facebook is the best way, you said, and
yes,
you can watch the show again and get to this page and get all the contact information. Well, thank you, Paulette, for coming on, and I would just encourage anybody who loves history, think about starting your own tour company in your town.
Yes.
Great
exactly.
entrepreneurship there.
Every town has a story.
It does.
Say. Yeah,
sure Many of them, right?
Many of them, yes.
Yeah.
And we got to get to our next story.
Yeah, we're going to go. We're moving on to the lighter side after these messages with Ladies of Another View on back.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel, from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with 1 truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make 1 call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after hours oasis of sanity.
How can these people not see that they're just clowns?
We help simplify and educate you on things going on in the legislature and around the country.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
But also having Lee Stack and Sid and Marty Croft stuff, and we've talked about that sometimes. It's bad.
Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. And Jan and Mary, do you have any interesting summer projects you've ever done as a kid?
Oh boy. As a kid.
As a kid.
Oh man.
Well, he's an adult too. Let's open it up. What have you done?
We are currently deconstructing an old one-room schoolhouse.
Wow.
We intend to use the things that we gather from there as accent pieces and walls and the like in a home that we are doing in Minnesota.
Wow. I would like pictures of that. That sounds interesting.
We're doing it piece by piece by piece.
And you should take some before, during, and after photos of the schoolhouse and of where it goes. That would be interesting.
Oh, you're so crafty.
We're doing it.
And then if you find any hidden things in the walls in the schoolhouse, that would be kind of fun too.
That would be fun. Not yet, but you know, we've seen the old desks, we've seen the old chalkboards, the old, I don't even know what it is. It's just this big metal thing, and it
Potbelly
maybe was
stove.
Well,
is it the furnace?
It could have been. It probably was. There's a place where it went out the side of the wall, but the metal thing doesn't look like one that I've seen before. But I'm going to at least be able to salvage the door from it because it's got some neat embossed features to it that are just really pretty.
Cool. And if you bring in pictures, maybe somebody can tell us what that is. That
There you
big
go.
metal thing is. Somebody will know, right?
So did you get to keep the desks that are in there as well?
Whatever's inside of it is
yours.
Is ours.
Is
yes.
yours. And the
Nothing like-
chalkboard.
And it was just a family that it's like, this is on our farm. We don't want it anymore. We can either let you take it apart and salvage what you can, or we can have the rural fire department come and do a controlled burn.
Oh
And
dear,
I'm like,
yeah.
Gee, it's kind of cool. I would be really interested in taking that apart.
Was the bell tower, or is there still a bell in the bell tower?
There is not a bell, but the tower is still there.
Oh, okay, so like a little cupola type thing. That'd be kind of fun to save and put that in your yard if you can get it.
If I can.
Well, Jan, you're going to like this because I think this 11-year-old girl who had quite an amazing summer project, and it was last summer when she was stuck at home. I could see you doing something like this too. Let's watch.
I thought it was going to be pretty fun, but with COVID going on, it was going to be not as fun as it could be.
But things changed one day when she was flipping through an American Girl doll magazine at her home in Attica.
And she showed us a $650 VW bus. My husband was like, that's ridiculous. You could buy your own camper for that price.
It wasn't very hard. He said 500 and I said 400 because that was the money that I had in my bank account. He said sold.
Then it was time to renovate.
It was a process. We brought home a family of mice, and so there was a lot of deep cleaning.
But that didn't stop her.
I was very motivated because I really wanted a place where I could just hang out like my own house.
The whole renovation process took Lauren about 2 months, and with the help of family and friends, she was able to turn this into this.
It's called Camp Hugo. It means very comfortable and safe. It has its own kitchen and bathroom, so it's like a tiny house.
So now you're the owner of a tiny home at 11 years old.
Yes.
The whole project cost her $800.
She has 3 envelopes that she puts her money in, give, save, and spend. I think she made a really good choice. She now says she's part of the Tiny Home Nation.
She was able to turn her summer around and hopes to inspire others to do the same.
Which is awesome to see that somebody who's 11 years old had her own vision, but now is out there and other people are contacting us and they've gone out and bought a camper to do the same thing.
If you're looking to have some big plans in the future, you should go out and do it. Make it happen.
Absolutely, make it happen.
Yeah,
That's
there you go,
cool.
Jen, whether a camper or a schoolhouse.
It's called glamping.
Glamping, right?
I've seen a lot of people take those really old, I'm not sure what they're called. They're not a Winnebago, but they're a pull-behind camper, and they're very small, teardrop shaped. And they've gone in and they've dolled them up so amazingly that you would never think it's even a camper. It's a cool place to hang out.
Absolutely.
Just like she said.
So I was at a tire shop, maybe a month ago or so in Mandan on the Strip. And there was a lady there that pulled up in a Winnebago, like one of the very first campers. They're kind of the shorter ones, but everything worked on it. Anyway, she paid like $600 for it, or $1,000. It wasn't more than $1,000. And she bought it. The tires were a little bit dry, so she was trying to get new tires. They couldn't get new tires for it, but she was doing the same thing. She was going to take her sister and herself and then all of their kids, just something to do for the weekends. So they were going to renovate this camper. And I was so excited because I want one now. I really do. I think that'd be fun, and just go away for the weekend. Just not like away, but just like 20 miles away. Sure. But it feels like you're away.
Right,
so I just think that would be fun.
Yeah. You have a little one like that. You go visit somebody, you don't have to inconvenience them to stay in their home. You can just park it.
She had to drive all the way to Minot on those tires, and they did not have any. And I even I called a couple, and I just met the lady at the tire shop. I called Johnson Wrecking. I called a couple different tire places. I called my husband. I called another guy that does a lot of this kind of salvage stuff. And it's like, that tire's really hard to find. And anyway, I did text her, and she did make it to Minot, but she drove like 40, 50 miles an hour all the way to Minot on some really dried out tires.
So if you're going to buy a camper, check the tires if you want to take it anywhere, and make sure you can buy replacements if that's the case. But it's just fun seeing different people's projects. You know, a lot of people will take old school buses. Yes. I don't know if you've seen that. Just look it up, old school buses renovated, and they turn them into little homes that they live in. Just amazing. But I love ideas. If you have any ideas, make sure you get a hold of us at becknews.com. You can email us. And I guess coming up is Joel Heitkamp with Down the Road with Joel Heitkamp. And we hope you join us again tomorrow with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Take care.
Bye.
Now.